What is going on, everybody? On here, and let's talk about perfect order. Now, there have been a couple PokeTubers that have done videos on this. I'm a little late to the party. Normally, I'm kind of first here, but I want to talk about allocations and, in my mind, what expectations are. And I think I've been fairly vocal about Ascended Heroes. The allocations that we saw were drastically different than what the rest of the folks on YouTube um, we're saying. I don't know why that is, but we did get a lot of product. Um, but moving to perfect order, it's a little bit of a different scenario. So um, it's been reasonably, I don't want to say widely reported, but reported by a couple folks, and I've mentioned this a couple videos, that the number of booster boxes for perfect order is down. And that is absolutely correct. I have allocations from 3 distributors. I'm supposed to get the fourth one at some point today, probably going to be tomorrow. But I wanted to get this video out because, quite honestly, I've been kind of dying to talk about it. Um, and in talking to uh, my 3 reps, their booster box count for this set is down somewhere around 10% to 15% versus what they got for Phantasmal Flames. Now, what a lot of the big distributors are doing is they're still accepting new accounts, brick and mortar specifically. And if you select them for organized play, they're guaranteeing 2 or 3 cases of Pokemon. And what that does is it just dilutes the overall pie, it for the benefit of the new stores. And I don't have any issue with that business practice because, quite honestly, I think everybody in distribution is scared to death of the music to stop, and just to make sure that they have enough people willing to buy product if and when things slow down. I personally don't think it's going to slow down anytime soon. I'm dying to get some big time reprints here just so I could put some dollars to work, as is pretty much everybody else. But I don't think Pokemon's going to slow down anytime soon. I don't think One Piece is going to slow down anytime soon. Magic's not going to slow down. They've done everything to shoot themselves in the foot, and they keep coming out smelling like a rose. I think Gundam's going to ramp up here. And then, the rest of the games, status quo to slight increases. So, in my opinion, in the current economy, which it's getting a little shaky, especially at the lower end, I just don't see any changes. People are spending money on this stuff. People have an all-time high degree of confidence that the products are going to retain value, especially Pokemon. I just don't see things changing. So, moving on to everybody's favorite set to poop on, perfect order. So, this is set basically from Legends EA. I know a lot of folks are trashing the megas in the set, but it is what it is. It's a nice Pokemon set, and it's going to do just fine. So, looking at my allocation numbers and just to kind of level set for Destined, Mega 1, and Phantasmal, I was right around 1,000 boxes, plus or minus, call it 50. Now, again, I only have 3 distributors so far. So I have 2 large allocations and a medium allocation that I'm missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually missing another one. You guys know who that is. They're still trying to figure themselves out. That's a different conversation. But my booster box count versus Phantasmal is down 5%. Not a big number, but it's down 5%. Now, booster bundles, I am up 15% over where I was for Phantasmal Flames. That's a nice little increase, but it's about the increase that I would expect, just given ramped up spend. Anything that distro throws at me, I'm buying. I'm maxing everything, so that kind of makes sense. The big bogey is I am up 2 times on the number of ETBs. So I am up almost just over 500 Elite Trainer boxes versus what I got for Phantasmal Flames across the allocation so far, kind of prorated. So it does look like there is a healthy amount of ETBs coming to market. I don't know why there's so many coming through distribution, but I am up pretty much anywhere between 50% to 150% across distribution, but I'm up significantly with everybody. Um, so there's clearly a significantly larger amount of elite trainer boxes. And we also saw this with the Senate Heroes, where the number of ETBs coming to market was a significant increase over what we saw for Black and White, and also a significant increase over what we saw for Phantasmal. Not the perfect comparison, because you have specialty set versus main set, but you kind of get the point. They're pumping more ETBs out than ever before, or at least in recent history. And I think this really goes back to freeing up a lot of the ETB printing that they were doing for the EU, and now using that in the US, which is great. So let's talk booster boxes. So there've been a lot of folks talking about, hey, this might be MSRP, blah, 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 blah. This set's not going to see MSRP because the supply of booster boxes is materially less than what it's been for the last 5 sets. Everybody knows, as of right now, in their own head, everybody is at the highest level of confidence that the Pokemon Company isn't going to reprint booster boxes. They're not going to print more booster boxes. They're getting away from booster boxes. This is just what they're going to do, and it is what it is. So people are going to buy this at release. Now, in my opinion, those people are wrong. There is such a high degree of conviction. Look at Destined Rivals at $600, that the Pokemon Company is not going to reprint it. And I personally welcome a reprint because I would love to have a large position in Destin. I'm pretty much sold out of everything, because when the boxes are $600, you sell it into the strength. It's the way that you're supposed to handle the market. Now, if you're buying at 600, best of luck. That would be me. But I think perfect order booster boxes, they're probably going to open in the 250, 260 range. They're probably going to perform much like what we saw with Journey Together. I have a hard time believing the boxes are ever going to go under $200, because people are going to buy them. And if they start to go under $200, they're going to have the best relative value of any other booster box on the market, because they're going to be the cheapest. So people are going to buy them. They're going to buy into them. Now, if we get a massive reprint dump of all of these other booster boxes at the same time perfect order comes out, and the amount of spend is diluted across multiple SKUs, all bets are off. That's a much different conversation. But assuming that doesn't happen until after this set ships, March could potentially push to April. Who knows? Just reporting what I'm told. I don't see a scenario where these booster boxes go under $200. Now, look, the ETBs, they're most likely going to settle in the 70, 75 range. They're just going to sit there, which is great. It's packs. For people to open, packs to have fun. And, $70 ETBs is about the cheapest ETBs have been in the last year and 15 months. So, we have that going for us. So, yeah, I kind of like the set. I think it's going to be cool. I think, people are going to be nostalgic for it if they played the video game. And then in May, I actually thought the set was going to come out in June, but the Crimson Invasion? No, not Crimson Invasion. Oh my God, CRI. Is it Crimson Invasion? Hold on, I gotta look it up now, because people keep telling me the name, and I should just look at the pre-release, which I have right in front of me here, since we had to register for that today. Okay. All right, great. It doesn't have the name on it. Anyway, it's Crimson some shit. It is effectively the Greninja set that everybody knew was coming. It's a smaller-ish set, but with the Greninja, there's going to be a chase. Looks like street date is the 22nd of May, and then the pre-release window is the 9th through the 17th. So May 9th looks like it's the pre-release, and then the 22nd is release. And what's interesting there, you're literally a month after all the booster bundles, and the last couple of EX boxes come out for Senate Heroes. But you're also you're also a solid 2 months before the July, or what in my opinion is, I think is going to be the July specialty set. Potentially the 30th anniversary set comes out, which gives them an absolute ton of time to print everything. And I think with the massive increase in number of Elite Trainer boxes coming from the Pokemon Company, that July specialty set is going to have a lot of product, at least on the ETB front. And look, this is what we saw for Ascended Heroes. Now, some larger distributors, they're just so diluted. It was really hard to get a meaningful amount of ETBs. But some of the larger folks, it wasn't nearly as bad. So we'll see what happens. But that's a long-winded way of saying that even though the set is probably going to be mid minus, whatever people think it's going to be, the fact that there's such a tight supply of booster boxes is going to inflate the price of booster boxes. And again, I don't see them dropping below 200, maybe 225 at a low, because the cheaper they get, the more people are going to pile in, because the price of this relative to the price of everything else, at least as of this point in time right now, it's going to be cheap and inexpensive. So anyway, guys, that's my take on Perfect Order. As I get my last 4 allocations here, if I see anything different, I'll report to you guys. I can't imagine I'm going to. But look, let's have some fun with it. It looks like it's going to be a cool set. I'm not sure about the ETB art, but it is what it is. So have a great Monday evening, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and we will talk tomorrow.